I used to say that it wasn't that long ago, well, I was sitting out there just like you, but now I realize that's a lie. It's been 30 years. So it was that long ago, and in fact, when I got my master's in marketing, it was a 2-year program. So this means you're twice as smart as we were. You can get all that in 1 year. But I will tell you that if it doesn't become the best time of your life, it will not be the worst time of your life, because you got a chance to learn from a lot of people. I think back, and it had really been that long that I can't think back, but I think back to what I learned and how I learned it, and you're going to learn from the talented faculty and staff that you'll have working with you, and you'll learn equally as much from the people sitting beside you. I learned a lot from the people that I was in class with, and then you'll learn from the people you're able to interact with, from the businesses. Now you'll be doing projects. So it's going to sound odd, but I would say don't focus so much on the grade that will come. And I know your parents think that's important, and it really is. But focus on your chance to learn, because you've got a unique time in your life where you have a year to focus on you. The money that you spent to be in this master's program is an investment in you, and you should treat it that way. You should prepare yourself for class. You should be ready for each opportunity to interact, because whether you're in finance or accounting or marketing, you're always selling who you are and what you have to offer. And you've got a wonderful opportunity to do that. There used to be a tagline the university used, I'm not sure if we still are, it's called "Start Here, Go Anywhere." That's true. I mean, you're gonna start here, and from here you finish your master's work and you can go into PhD work, or you can go out into industry, but it's really up to you. Now, obviously you're in a more competitive environment. I finished my master's work in 1981. As the dean said, I went to undergraduate school here. True confession, I wasn't the greatest undergraduate student that the college had to offer. I had way too much fun the first 2 years, and then was told by my parents that if I didn't want to start paying for my own college, I would do much better. Had the speech about learn to love math, and I was a marketing major for obvious reasons, and at that time there was a business calculus class that you had to pass before you could get your degree. I don't know if you still take that? Ah, you're lucky. I was 0 for 2, going for my third, I was a junior, going for my third pass at it, and I decided I was not going to learn to love math, but I learned to love my math tutor. And I told her, if you'll get me through this class, I will marry you. And she did, and we've been married 32 years. She was a math major here, computer science minor, so there are other ways to get where you need to go. As we said, I joined the company, what was Gulf States Paper in 1981. My aspiration was to get a job that paid me money. Back then, and this is going to sound like I'm talking Confederate dollars, but it really wasn't that long ago, but back then the starting salary for an undergraduate was about $18,000 a year. Because I had a master's, I started at 26, and that seemed like a whole lot of money. And it was back then, but what that master's degree did for me is it gave me a head start in the workplace. And then what it did through the years is that it helped separate me from other candidates for opportunities within my company. As we said, I've gone through a number of things: marketing, sales, probably in purchasing for 2 years. That was a really odd fit, but it was a great experience for me. Strategy and planning. I ran an operating division which included a pulp and paper mill, which you really needed a good chemistry background, which I didn't have any of, to run. So I always had to kind of work on some of the weaknesses as I went through my career, try to pick up and learn those things. But they're there for you. So I would say that, you know, don't worry about having a timeline that says I'm going to start here and I'm going to be the president of a company in 5 or 10 years. Take the opportunities that come your way. Show the initiative that you wouldn't be here. I'm pretty sure they don't let dumb people in this program. I was in the program a long time ago, and I actually did okay when I got in the program. And I will have to thank Barry Mason. We just started the MBA program in 1981, started to be a mandatory 2-year program. And I was married, and my wife had 1 more year to finish in school, so I didn't really want to work 2 years. And I ran into Barry Mason in the hallway, and he says, "Oh, so what are you going to be doing?" I said, "I don't know, I'm tending bar, I guess I'll do that for a year." He went, "Really?" He said, "You could probably make better use of your time in the master's program." So He talked me into it, and I really think it was that one happenstance, kind of that butterfly effect type of thing, that I said yes, got in the program, was with a great group of people, and I developed relationships from that experience that served me well throughout my career. Through time, I had Jim Cashman. He taught organizational behavior way back when. Barry Mason was still in the classroom teaching marketing research. Morris Mayer, a person you don't know, but it was a legend in retailing. These are people that I had through school. Carl Ferguson. And not just they were nice to me when I was in the master's program, but anytime I needed to reach out to them when I was out working and I had a question, they were always available. So you're building relationships within your peer group, but you're also building lifetime contacts within this very, very talented staff here. So that's another part of your investment. Don't overlook that. Now, I don't mean kiss up every chance you get, but it doesn't hurt. Now, they need to know who you are. If you're a stranger to your professors at the end of this next year, you've done something wrong. You've passed up some opportunities that you shouldn't have. So get to know them, get to know your peers. So I think back on what it is that I got better at. What did that extra year and a half, because I actually finished early in a 2-year program, what did that do for me? Well, to help refine some of the skills that I had starting to build as an undergraduate. Critical thinking skills. I remember Dr. Strickland, the first time we did a case study, and it's a terrible case. They don't give you enough facts, Dr. Strickland. How are we supposed to come up with a recommendation? And he said, you will never have enough facts. You know what he's right? He's right. In 30 years of business, we've had to make decisions, and you never have enough facts. So you learn to process what you have. You'll be taught different skill sets that you can put in your toolbox to use when you leave here. Knowing when to apply the right ones at the right time is a real talent, but you'll have those. Those will serve you well through time. So the thing I would say behind that is don't be in a rush to sell all your textbooks the day that you finish your class. Now I do admit that my textbook for quantitative multivariate data analysis was traded for 2 6-packs of beer the day I finished that class. But actually, I have kept about 8 or 9 of those textbooks, Dr. Strickland's being one. He keeps trying to buy it off of me because it's like version 1. He and Art Thompson wrote that. But those are things that will serve you well. So don't be in a rush to leave behind what you have done here over the next year. I think probably the most important thing that you have to do, and some of you may already be very good at this, is to practice your communication skills. One of the deficits that I've seen has kind of increased over the past 10 to 15 years, and these are from master's students, is their ability to write well and to speak well. And I don't mean to stand in front of a PowerPoint and read the slides for people, because that's kind of what we've gotten down to as a presentation skill. You need to learn to tell a story, to tell it succinctly, and to get people interested and engaged. So every chance you get, and if you can take the salesmanship class, I don't know if it's offered to this group, even if you're an engineer or an accountant, take that class. It helps you understand how to communicate an idea and sell yourself. And then the collaboration, we work, and I'm sure you'll be working on project teams, learning how to play well with others. It's kind of like kindergarten, you know, you're in the sandbox together. If you don't learn to collaborate with all different types of people, you'll go crazy. And when you get out into the working world, you're going to find there are more different types of people than you had in your class. So sometimes you have to lead, sometimes you have to support, sometimes you have to hold others accountable. But those are the skills that we look for, and I think in the project management approach you'll get some of those, but learning how to lead others. You don't have to be old and gray-headed to be a leader. We've got people that just come out of graduate school, we put them in charge of projects, and they're leaders by their position. Others, you'll become leaders by your style and the way that you approach your work. So that's the thing that we look for when we're hiring associates, is their innate leadership skills, how well do they collaborate, how well do they communicate. And then being disciplined. It's amazing how much work people will do, and then they get to a point and they quit working. They get a little bit lazy. I'm not going to tell you how competitive the job market is, because you all read the paper, and you're going to be coming out in a job market that's extremely competitive, very uncertain. I think you've done a wise thing by deciding to invest in a master's degree, because it will separate you from the people that just have undergraduates. It will let you make some connections that they want, but it's going to be competitive. So you've got to be disciplined. First to work, last to leave. Anybody heard that from their mom or dad before? Still true. Don't be the last one there and don't be the first one to leave. People notice that thing. When I walk out to the parking lot, I see where the car spaces are. I know who parks where. It's just a little thing, but you're trying to impress upon them that not only were you a good hire because you're already working there, is that you're a good employee to keep investing in as your company progresses. I talked about the out of the classroom experiences, network constantly. And it doesn't have to, it's not just purely in your self-interest, but you will build connections. I still have people that I've stayed in touch with from graduate level classes. A lot of them were smarter than I and went on to get their PhDs. But this is you're building up this network. The old adage is it's not who you know, or not, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's both. You've got to have the content, you've got to be technically proficient, but you've got to have some reason for them to listen to you. You've got to get your foot in the door. You've got to answer the question for them, why me? Why should you consider hiring me? Because when they hire you, they're going to make an investment in you. Even though you've got a master's degree, they don't think you're going to show up at work the first day and say, here, go decide whether or not we're going to buy this company. They're going to teach you how their systems work. But they're looking for somebody that's shown initiative, discipline, and the work to stand out. So I thought enough of this program. I convinced my daughter, who got her undergraduate in marketing. She got her MS in marketing a couple years ago. Dr. Ritchie, I think, she had a trip to Las Vegas she keeps talking about. I haven't got the details yet, but she said y'all had a lot of fun. But she's done quite well, and she's working for a company called Athlink, and she's out in a sales position out in Dallas. But it served her well. It served me well. I think you've made a wonderful decision to invest in your own careers and your future by doing this. I wish you well. It will not be as confusing a week from now as it is today. A month from now, you're going to think you've been here forever, and come next May, you're going to be ready to go out and slay the world. So congratulations on your decision. I wish you well.